The song I just sang is called Les Berceaux. It's a French art song, and it means the cradles. It's used as a metaphor for the ships in the harbor, and also as the arms of a mother cradling her child. The voice part tells the story of the relationship, while the piano shows the image of the ships rocking up and down from the waves. Music tells stories. Sometimes you don't know what they're about, but it's inevitable for feelings to arise. I want to transition now and ask the audience to think about what emotions you were feeling throughout the song. Music tunes with your emotions, and it makes you feel certain ways depending on the tone of the music, which I think is fascinating. And part of the reason is because of the dopamine pathways in your brain. Dopamine is one of the brain's neurotransmitters that helps coordinate movement, attention, learning, and emotional responses. Dopamine is what shoots through your system when you feel goosebumps or shivers. It's your reaction to hearing someone sing or play music. This is why humans have such a strong connection with their feelings when listening to or playing music. So, shout out some emotions you were feeling when I was singing. There are no right or wrong answers.
Peaceful.
Peaceful, yeah.
Wow. Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Tranquil.
Tranquil.
Calm.
Calm. Sleepy, beautiful. Gorgeous. This is essentially what I focused on for my iTry. I investigated the emotions and relationship children and adolescents have with music education and how the music educator plays a role in creating a safe and welcoming environment for their students. Over the course of my field phase, I taught, participated, and observed at Hemingway and Alturas Elementary, the Portland Waldorf School, and a nonprofit organization called the Harmony Project, which serves under-resourced, low-income communities in Los Angeles County, California. I worked with over 1,400 students and 16 music educators and administrators. I did anything from teaching second graders the basics of reading music, to observing 3rd through 6th graders learn how to play the trumpet, to playing in the Portland Waldorf School's high school orchestra. I learned so much and was continually inspired by the kids and teachers I worked with. While I was at Alturas, I did an activity similar to what I just did with you. With every kindergarten through 5th grade class, I asked them to answer, how has music class impacted your life? Or how does music class make you feel? Their answers were sincere, and I could tell all of them loved some aspect of music, whether that was the teacher, singing, or playing other instruments. Here are some responses that I really connected with. Music makes me feel happy and like I can fly. When I sing, I feel like I'm singing with all my heart. Music makes me feel useful and included because everyone gets a chance to shine. Music makes me feel creative. Music reaches children in a unique way, and I believe if children incorporate it throughout their life, it can have an impact on the construction of self-identity and a sense of belonging throughout adolescence. This is what constructed my thesis and what I investigated in during my field phase. My thesis is, music education is essential for adolescent development because it increases brain growth, assists the formation of self-identity, and creates a sense of belonging. Music and the brain have a very interesting relationship, because when playing a musical instrument, it engages all parts of your brain. Music has been shown to extend to the cerebral cortex, which involves the response to sound and strengthens the connections between auditory and motor regions. Playing music requires becoming familiar and knowledgeable with what is essentially another language, which regularly exercises these brain functions. Musical involvement requires the whole brain to work, and its parts become used to working and strengthening, which allows musicians to become more advantaged with skills such as focus, fine motor skills, emotional intelligence, and critical thinking. How cool is it that your brain responds so well to music that it increases its overall function? Music does so much for the brain, but it also allows one to create a sense of community and belonging. I believe this because music has helped me form my self-identity and given me a sense of belonging. My personality has developed into a motivated, excited, hard-working spirit because of music and how much commitment I've had to have to succeed at it. Whenever I sing with Cola Voce or as a soloist, I feel I am important, listened to, and proud. Music is my source of confidence. I feel I am taking up the most space and have the biggest impact on people when I sing. It's the only time when I feel absolutely free of everything, that nothing or no one tries to hold me down. This is why I sing. And I've been able to make this realization because I've formed my self-identity through music, have created a sense of belonging and community in any sort of musical situation I am in. During my field phase, I learned that forming a safe and supportive community is a priority in every music classroom, and music educators strive to create it to ensure security for their students. I interviewed every music educator and administrator I worked with, and one of the questions I asked was, how do you define community? From all the responses I got, this one stood out to me the most. Community is about creating a group of people that share a common purpose and a common set of values. It's about being a part of something that you're building together. It's having a common goal and having a common set of values for that goal. This may seem like a similar answer for any sport or school club, but the way music educators build community in their classroom is what's unique about it. Here are 3 ways music educators create a sense of community in their classrooms. The nonprofit organization I worked with, Harmony Project, is especially unique in the way they build community in their classes. The majority of students at Harmony Project do not have access to music programs in their schools simply because of the lack of funding. So this is their only opportunity to be involved in music. In every class I observed, it seemed the main focus, other than learning music, was about being a team and what it meant to be part of a team. The teachers used phrases like, everyone participates, everyone gives their musical contribution, help others rise to your level, and let's do this as a team. The students are being taught that their actions have repercussions on the group, and that to be a successful ensemble, each child has to be respectful, responsible, and listen. This kind of approach to teaching is called social and emotional learning. It's the process of acquiring skills to recognize and manage emotions, develop caring and concern for others, make responsible decisions, establish positive relationships, and handle challenging situations effectively. This may sound familiar because the Sage School teaches and encourages these concepts and types of behaviors into our community. We go on field studies to build community and do numerous things to make connections with our teachers, peers, and surroundings. Every day we use these skills, and so does music education, because most of playing and learning music is about working together with peers and teachers. Harmony Project strives to create a community of people who have a love of music and are dedicated to continuing it throughout adolescence. They provide the resources to help financially, academically, and personally. This organization truly is the heart of what music education should be. Music education is about catering to the needs of the whole student, and music is just the vehicle they use for it. Another method to build community is encouraging the students to teach each other. When I was at Hemingway Elementary observing classes, I noticed a method the teacher would use. Almost all the grades were working on songs that included xylophones, so she'd go around to each instrument and tell the kids which notes to play on which beats. For example, she'd say, this is the alto xylophone. You're going to play F and A at the same time on beats 1 and 3. And then she'd hand the mallets to a student who was completely engaged. She'd do this process with all the instruments, then she'd give them time to practice. They'd run through the song, and then she said, choose someone who hasn't played yet and teach them your part. It was so cool to see the kids working together, counting together, and reassuring each other when they played. This process never got old for me to watch because it was beautiful to see students helping and teaching their peers how to play an instrument. There was zero judgment or anger towards each other. There was only support and teamwork. It emphasized my idea even more, that there is a sense of community in music, and there are many ways to build it through teamwork and respecting one another. Music is especially unique in the way it builds community because of the music educator. Everyone I worked with had so much love and dedication towards their students and wanted to help them succeed. They all truly believe that music is for everyone, and that if they have the desire and commitment, that they can achieve anything. Music educators are passionate about their work and strive to create a safe and welcome environment for all their students, to assure them that being vulnerable or scared is okay and normal. They do this by greeting their students every day, providing the resources to find the answers, and making it feel like it's the student's classroom. When the students feel it is their classroom, they feel they belong and excited to try new things. And when that happens, they feel they are there to learn music because they want to, not because they have to. These methods provide the students with opportunities to speak their minds and get outside of their comfort zone, which is part of building a sense of self. Because music education involves singing together, playing together, having fun together, and succeeding together, all students feel they belong and want to be a part of it. Finding somewhere to fit in is sometimes difficult for children and adolescents, but music education allows students an individual voice in an accepting and welcoming community. There's something about music that allows kids to open up and be okay with making mistakes. They realize that they're all learning new things. Some may pick it up faster than others, but regardless, learning music is about making mistakes, being okay with making mistakes, and supporting one another throughout that process. Music education teaches kids how to be non-judgmental and encourage vulnerability. With both of those aspects, a music classroom environment thrives as a community and is always seen as a welcoming space to be your true self. Music education strengthens self-worth. It makes students realize that they are important and valuable, that it allows a sense of pride to rise in students. And I can say this is true for me. Ever since I was little, my parents knew I had a special connection with music. It took a little while longer for me to realize it, but once I did, I knew it's what I wanted to do forever. I was the kid in school performances who knew all the words and gestures to the songs. I sang so the whole world could hear me. It made me feel happy and limitless, and nothing else has made me feel the same amount of joy and complete freedom except music. My journey throughout 9 years of complete dedication and commitment towards music has made me the confident, opinionated, lively, sassy, and passionate person I am today. And it showed me a clear path to my future of majoring in vocal performance at University of Puget Sound. It's helped me understand what a sense of belonging looks and feels like. A sense of belonging feels like you contribute to something in a meaningful way, in a place where you can be your most authentic self. A place where you aren't judged or criticized, but instead, a place where you feel comfortable, secure, and supported. Adolescence is a time when you're trying to form self-identity, and it's really hard for a lot of people. However, I believe music education can provide the tools to form self-identity, a sense of belonging, and community. And I believe those are the most important attributes to grasp an understanding of during adolescence. Music has not only given me my passion for singing, but it's also given me the answers to who I am and how I play a role in this world. Thank you. Are there any questions? Oh, yes.
So, based on your observation of the teachers and how important their role is in creating this community of music, do you see yourself as wanting to become one of those educators?
I had a lot of time. I was asked this question by Drew too, and I'm not entirely sure. Both of the curriculums in college are very similar, so I may find that music education is the path that I want to go down. But as of now, I love performing and I love sharing my love of music for the audience, and I like getting, I don't know yet. Yes, Maggie. Colette, sorry.
Since Walker integrates music from when they're really little, I mean, it's not a whole curriculum. Do you see a difference
That's a really good question. I think because Waldorf education start like in kindergarten, the teacher just sings with them throughout the whole day, and it gets to the point where the kids are singing to each other to communicate. And in like elementary schools, you just get a music class for 50 minutes every week. So I think there's definitely a difference, but in terms of like the kids' love and excitement towards music is the same. Yes, Maggie.
It seems like you may have answered this question reflecting on your childhood, but I'm wondering if there's been a progression for you in terms of performing. Were you ever nervous, or no?
Yes. I think performing when I was in middle school, I like performed maybe like 3 or 4 times a year, and that just like those nerves built up. But like now I perform much more often, so it's like this is routine now. But there was definitely when I was younger, there was definitely that kind of feeling of, am I gonna mess up? Am I gonna be good enough? Kind of thing. But now I just go out and like I know that I know the songs, and I just want to share it with the audience. So, Chris.
If we wanted to see you perform again, where might we be able to do that?
Cola Voce is having their night at the Liberty Theater performances tonight and tomorrow night at 7. It's a free concert, and everybody should come. Yes, Maria?
Raine, you have just set an amazing example as a SAGE student who's been able to manage your musical education as well. Can you explain a little bit how you've done that throughout the years?
Yeah, 9th through the beginning of this year, I went to the high school every day to participate in the high school's chamber orchestra during 6th period, and I just became dual enrolled, and I made sure that I wasn't behind on any of my other schoolwork, so that wouldn't interfere with going and playing the violin in that orchestra. But I think if you have a real drive and dedication for if you want to join choir or band or orchestra, if you have that drive and want to continue balancing both of those things, it's definitely possible. Larry?
Yes, thank you so much. As a matter of policy, just taking the example of the Harmony program, as a matter of policy, when school districts face budget cuts or challenges, sometimes the arts portion of the curriculum is what it gets removed. So what are your thoughts about how school districts should prioritize education in the arts? And just, if you wouldn't mind, just tell us a little bit of how it is that the community managed to put music back into the kids' curriculum.
Right, that's a really hard question. It makes me wish that I went in more into what that policy is and why it goes straight to cutting an arts program. But as far as Harmony Project goes, everybody I worked with was just super, super passionate about providing music education in low-income communities, and I think they have a really well-run organization. They have a lot of connections, and I think having their teachers are teaching artists, so they perform in LA and they also teach the kids. So bringing that aspect into their classes also gives them an outside look of what performing is. And yeah, it's just they're very passionate and they want to keep providing it to low-income communities in LA. Yeah. There's last one, sorry.
I have a question, because I know you perform on an instrument in an ensemble, and then you also perform as a soloist vocally. And I'm wondering if you could just speak to, like, as a personal experience, how are those two different or similar, or if anything came through in your research about kind of the differences between, or even just singing as a group or as a soloist?
Right. I think it's really useful to be in an ensemble, or like singing with others or playing with others, because in my thesis paper I talked about kind of forming that group identity in an ensemble, because you have to have like set each other to the same standards, and like everyone has to be responsible for showing up to rehearsals and for practicing, and without all of that, it just is not, it falls apart really easily. So I think having those, you learn those principles in an ensemble, and then taking those initiatives and putting it into your soloist time is very beneficial. Yeah, thank you.